I say this is the best Ferrari in production, or the best car that Ferrari makes, for my own reasons. Yes, I know best is subjective, but I'm going to try to be objective in why I'm saying this, because I truly believe the Lusso is something that, it's the car that we didn't think we wanted or needed until we saw it, which is the first, is the FF, right? This is the GT4CLusso 2019. Enzo Ferrari said, I build engines and attach wheels to them. I mean, he also said aerodynamics are for people who can't build engines, but that's not the point. We're talking about engines here, and this really embodies that statement. You have this incredible engine and this package around it that, although you may not have expected, it just works. It just does what it needs to do. So a little bit of history. The Ferrari FF is actually a 2011 model, 2012 maybe. It's the first Ferrari hatchback. It's not the first Ferrari 2+2. That was the 250 GTE, but the first hatchback was the FF. This is the evolution, the successor for the FF, the GT4CLusso. It actually comes in two trims. This one being the V12, and the other one being the V8, twin turbo V8, which is a great car. Has less horsepower in the V8, but a little bit more torque in the V8, which is useful in heavier vehicles, right? But if you want a Ferrari, while the torque is great, who wants to pass on a V12 Ferrari? Like, why would I want to pass on that, right? So it's V12 it is, man. You don't want to miss that. And that's what Ferrari's known for. Everybody knows Ferrari for the loud, angry V12, similar to Lamborghini, but Ferrari is like the originator of that raging V12. So a little bit about this engine. 6.3 liter V12, 680 horsepower. It doesn't have the 6.5 liter, 789 horsepower monster engine from the A12 Superfast, and that's simply because Ferrari's been an asshole. That's the only reason this car should have that engine. It's too good to not have it. But we're not going to complain about 680 horsepower, right? It's still in a naturally aspirated Ferrari V12 that is completely sickening when it comes to the driving experience. I got 8,200 RPM of red line to play with, and it is spectacular. Spectacular. That was my mother voice. Hope you heard that. One thing that I have to say about the engine, as powerful as it is, it feels like a lion in a 10 by 10 foot cage. It's like it wants to just let go, let loose, expand its horizon, and they lock it in place. It needs to breathe. This car wants to breathe. It needs an exhaust, maybe even something on the header standpoint, but just give it exhaust. Let it stream. You put that in this car, and it is absolutely perfection. Basically, Ferrari needs to make a TDF version of this. See, you hear the induction, right? Not much exhaust, it's pure induction, just a little bit of exhaust. Now from the outside, you can definitely feel some of that, but it just needs a little bit more growl, just to show that I'm a Ferrari. The Manello, the more than enough. Give me the Ferrari, no, the V12, give me that. That's what it wants. Let it breathe, Ferrari. Make a TDF, make a Pista, that's the VA, whatever. Call it whatever you want, but just give it to us now. Thank you. Happy. You know the most embarrassing thing about driving cars you're not used to and not yours is when you like try to go to the gas station and you don't know what a gas tank is, and you get out and you have to get back in and go the other way. I'm hoping I got this right. Neutral, cut off. All right. I didn't get it right. So yep, I look like the dude who don't know what he's doing. Well, he definitely rented that car. He don't even know where his gas tank is. He doesn't know. He's new to the game. He's not a veteran. He doesn't know Ferrari. Okay, let me turn this auto engine off button. I hate that. You gotta stop putting that auto start stop. Take that crap out of cars, not just Ferraris. Every car, just eliminate it. I hate it when you stop, it cuts off and it shakes and does some weird crap. Every car I've driven, from American to Japanese to Italian to German, they all suck with that stupid auto start off button. Just take it off. 0 to 60, 3.4 seconds for the 0 to 60 crazy people. I don't care about that. It's fast, all right? I'm not gonna launch this at every stoplight to measure my 0 to 60. On the highway, on the road, it's as fast as you would need for a car, point blank period. Top speed, 208 miles per hour in a grand touring car that's comfortable, with space in front, with nice seats, that has a little mini back seat with a trunk, and it's comfortable. Like the suspension feels good at 280 miles per hour. The V12 model actually gets all-wheel drive, accompanied with all-wheel steering, but it's a trick all-wheel drive system. It's fully all-wheel drive when it needs to be all-wheel drive, but it actually cuts off at 124 miles per hour. And I can only assume from an engineering standpoint that that's done to minimize the friction, to maximize the power to the rear wheels, and let the front tires focus on grip. When you're going that fast, you want grip. Again, this is racing heritage. The tires need to do the work. If the front tires are busy trying to propel the car, that grip, that friction coefficient is focused on two things, steering and power. But Ferrari said, no, at that speed, I want to focus on steering. So that's what it is. So very trick all-wheel drive system, and again, rear steering as well. I love it. Exterior. This is controversial. Honestly, it's a very love it or hate it design. I'll be really frank with you. I personally love how it looks. I like shooting brakes. I like hatchbacks. I've always loved the RS6 and the RS2 and RS3 and RS4s and hatchback in Europe, and the Focus STs and the M5 and the E63 hatchback. I just like those cars. Some people hate them. So if you don't like hatchbacks, you won't like this. But don't get it wrong. It's extremely unique. You will not confuse this car with any other car on the road. If anything, you may not know what it is, but you won't confuse it for anything else on the road. The silhouette has its own unique perception. They really set out to create something that was unique, if not a bit awkward, right? It is awkward, but it works. It works for me, at least. I have to say it, I love the seats. They are not buckets. This is not a race car. That's second gear. Anyway, the seats are great. They're incredible. Why don't all the sports cars have these? If I'm out on a racetrack, I don't need no doggone buckets. And yes, I have had buckets. Don't question me as if, oh, you don't know how they feel, what they get to you. I've had buckets on my GT4. I've driven GT3 and GT2 RSs with buckets, and I've driven a GT3 without buckets, and I enjoy it a little bit, but no, a lot better on the road. Yeah, on the track, give me buckets, but these work. They're supportive, nice bolsters, they're soft, and then you got these little thingies in the back, these little 2+2 seats, and they're reasonably spacious. Can you fit adults back there? Yeah, you can fit adults. Can you fit an adult like me? Chances are you're gonna have some trouble. If me driving and me in the back, it's gonna be a little struggle, but it does have the ability to support adults in the back. I think it's better for a child. But anyway, this is the 2+2. But just in general, they did a great job with interior. Nice soft touch leather, of course. It's Italian, it better be good. All of that, the engine, the all-wheel drive, the interior, not to mention this awesome dual clutch transmission. This is common on sports cars and cars in general right now. Ferrari keeps the dual clutch transmission. It works super effectively, especially in traffic and normal daily driving. I wouldn't want a manual in this car, so kudos to the industry for moving to this for most of the vehicles, right? But it all comes together to make this a car that's awesome to travel. Space in the rear, rear seat space in the trunk, comfort. They really tuned in the suspension awesome for, and I'm in Houston on some rocky roads right now, and these roads tear up most cars. The Lusso is eating them up, and I'm completely shocked at how nice it is on these roads. So it works well, looks good, high speed, and then you combine that with the quad exhaust and the noise and the induction and this V12 engine, and it comes for this experience like none other. A Panamera can't give this experience. SUVs can give this experience, especially with the turbos. They can't match the NA, it just can't. So I hope Ferrari keeps making this car because it does things that no other vehicle on the planet can do. No experience can be offered from anything else that's like this. And I'm gonna hold to that, I truly believe it. Let's go to the financials, right? The biggest weak spot for this car, and man, it hurts my soul. So MSRP for this car is about $300,000, right? For the V12. The V8 is about $40,000 cheaper MSRP. This car is designed and produced for the rich, not the wealthy, the rich. Whatever, however you define that, you know what I'm trying to say. It's not made for the well-off. It's made for the rich, because you will lose your ass on money. It's very unfortunate. So with options, this car is about $360,000. If you go online and look at any of the Lussos, the average MSRP is probably around between $340 and $360. You will lose $100,000 in 12 to 16 months. It is mind-blowing. I don't know why. I do know why, but I don't know why it has to be like that. But the reason I believe that it loses so much money is because of the market. This is designed for Ferrari owners that need a Ferrari to drive throughout the day more comfortably. It's not designed for new Ferrari buyers. So the market is minuscule, right? People who want a Ferrari, they don't come for a hatchback. They go for a two-door coupe that's stunning and got a cool look to it, that's gonna stand out, that's yellow and red. That's what they go for. They don't want to get a hatchback and put their kid in the back. This is made for Ferrari owners or exotic car owners who want something to drive every day that's still exotic. That's it. And that market is about this big. I can't even see the light because it's like that big. And that's what hurts it. I mean, it's supply-demand curve. It's skewed. There's reasonable supply and demand is nothing, right? So it can't support the value, and it kills me because it's such a good car. Now, a few years down the line, say 4 years down the line, maybe even 5, excellent purchase. Awesome. The experience you can have in this car, you can have road trips galore and enjoy it like nothing else. You'll probably end up spending about $150,000. Yeah, that cheap in 4 years. Go online and look at FFs right now. Some of them are 120-something thousand, if I recall, with a V12, with a Ferrari V12 in it. So that's when I think these really come alive as pre-owned certified vehicles. But as a new car, man, unless you really trying to burn some bank or you really just have money to lose, it's rough. Now, this car does help you on the Ferrari status quo type of situation, right? It gives you that lean into Ferrari, that leverage into getting special cars, you know, your VIP or VOP, VIP and TOP type of situations to really get those special edition Ferraris. So if you're trying to build your status with Ferrari, getting a brand new Lusso is amazing. Ferrari, I still love this thing, but we got to find a way to change that financials, man. We all want things like this. We all don't want to lose things like that. But hey, again, it's not designed for everyone. It's designed for a particular type of clientele. So if it works for you, Ferrari, keep at it. Keep selling them. Just keep giving us badass cars like the Pista and the TDF and the Monza and the TDF version of the Lusso, like stuff like that. Give us that and we'll be okay, all right? The question is, what do you want from your exotic? For most people, believe it or not, the exotic checklist will check a lot of boxes on this car, but there are some boxes that it's not gonna check. Most people want, again, they want a stunt factor car. They want it flashy, they want it loud, they want it pompous. They want something that's gonna stand out and make them look a certain way. But if you add in a bit of practicality to that equation, tone down the exotica look or the flash, this car stands out among the pack. It's the only one. So I think for me, if I had extra money to have another exotic, this would be it. Again, as my first exotic, no. My first crazy car, no. But extra money for another exotic, I would buy this used and drive it until the wheels fall off, right? I'll just go for it. So that's where I think this car really comes into its own. Its ability to bring so much of the exotic package to the livable world and to not stress as much. Again, no matter what you do on this car, no matter how many miles you put on it, whether it's 500 or 10,000, you're gonna lose a lot of money. That's a bad thing, but it's a good thing because you don't have to worry about driving it only once a weekend. Just drive it. So going back to why I said it's the best Ferrari that Ferrari makes, the best Ferrari in production. It does a little bit of everything. Right? It looks cool to me, although subjective. It sounds amazing. It runs amazing. It handles great. You can put it on the track if you really need to. It does a lot of what the HO Superfast can do with a lot more practicality. It sounds better than the 488 with the twin turbo. It's much cooler than the California. So it's a HO Superfast that does more. And why would I not want that, right? It is the best thing they make. The best car Ferrari makes is the one that most people don't even know about, and it is the Lusso. But here we go. The Ferrari GT4CLusso. That's the car you didn't think you wanted until Ferrari made it. And now, I want it. I want it bad. Anyway, I'm out. Auto Rave TV, former Garage Collection. We're going to keep on chopping it up, you hear me?